So good evening and welcome. This is the second rehearsal on Love Divine, which we're preparing, ready to put out together as part of the big church sing. It should be happening on Easter Day, so the 4th of April. And I think that's going to happen at 4 p.m. It's tended to, so I imagine it'll be the same again, and that'll be going out on the Methodist Church in Britain YouTube channel. I don't know that we'll get quite as many hits as Christmas, but I don't know if you've seen the Christmas big church sings. It got 27,000 views or something. It was really amazing. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens at Easter. The deadline for sending you videos in is a week Wednesday. It'd be amazing if you can get them over then, and then we'll put everything together. All of the run through tracks, they're all on the website, and all the usual information about how to send over your video, that's all there too. And similarly, the upload link, you have to keep scrolling to get right to the bottom of the page, but right at the bottom of the page is the upload links, and so you can, on the website, just add your video there, which I won't go into the details of now because it kind of depends what device you're on as to what it looks like, but hopefully it's fairly self-explanatory. But if you've got any problems with it, do just drop a line, and I'll be very happy to try and help with that. So that all said, let's get ourselves warmed up and ready to go. Just going to turn myself up in here. Okay, so to begin with, we're just going to sing a lovely hum. We're just going to think about this hum being in the head as you sing. So we're always thinking up with our singing. So simply. I mentioned about singing, thinking up with our singing, but I'd like to do, we're going to think in two directions really. So as we're going singing up in terms of the pitch, now those moments, I just like to think about sitting into the sound, so that it's really coming from here. In fact, you might like to try with your hands. You can pick your analogy. My favourite one is standing in a river with an elf under each arm, and you're just going to dunk the elf for a bit. Then, because we're nice, we'll let him over air. So, with that sense of pushing something down and then lifting it back up again, but going in the opposite direction to our voice. 3 and. Last one. Good, we're going to go down the scale now. And to your most beautiful, round, warm ooh. Now moving to R, and of course in Love Divine we all have a R at some point. Soprano is right at the very beginning before you move on to text. and then altos, tenors and basses throughout verse 1 and verse 2, predominantly on these R's. And I like to think about this R shape being lovely and bright and up, but still with good space to it. So we're thinking in the upwards direction, but having enough breadth to the sound. Let's do that again. So R3. Last one. Okay, lovely. Good. We're gonna last week we did a little warm-up song. Sang a little warm-up song which I mentioned for those who were here last week. Was written by taking the words from this lovely story to do with the Systema project, which is kind of a social action through music program in Sweden, when they meet on this for this activity called Fenstay, and everybody who's involved in the Systema. And I think it's 6 o'clock every Wednesday. They all gather together. I mean, obviously not at the moment, but gather together, eat food together, and sing and dance. And it's a really fantastic family affair. And this is one of the songs that I was actually inspired by the story of one of the young people in that program, which they the staff there then set to music. And I think Dudamel conducted the premiere of this with the Gothenburg Symphony, which is a real treat for them all. And he just goes like this: if you sleep really well and dream about love and flowers, you'll be taller when you wake up. If you sleep really well and dream about love and flowers, you'll be taller when you wake up. Flowers and love and flowers and love and flowers. So it's a beautifully simple little tune. On the chorus, you can feel free to make up your own harmonies along the way. So if there's a tenor, I might sing flowers and love. Might find some nice little scrunchy harmony you could add in, if you fancy the harmony and you're happy making up your own harmony. If not, stick to the tune, and that's perfectly fine too. That was a very quick little introduction to this whole song. But let's sing it all once more, just to get us going. You'll notice that it's very legato. There's these lovely long lines to it, and that's something we're really going to employ later on when we sing Love Divine. So as we sing this, think about the length of your phrases. If you sleep really well and dream about love and flowers, you'll be taller when you wake up. If you sleep really well and dream about love and flowers, well and dream about love and flowers. You'll be taller when you wake up. If you sleep really well and dream about love and flowers, you'll be taller when you wake up. Flowers and love and flowers, flowers and love and flowers. Lovely. Right, well, I hope you're feeling warmed up. It's a pretty little tune, that, isn't it? So we're going to get diving straight in now to Love Divine. A little bit of a different feel to this now. And what you'll notice is, at the very beginning here, there's 4 bars missing on the music. Now on the, here I'll see if I can quickly share the video with you if you've not seen it already for the run-through track. But on the run-through videos, you'll notice that right at the very, very beginning, I'm afraid I've not been able to do it, so there's very much time for you to be able to get yourselves ready before the clap comes in. But fairly swiftly on, there's the clap right at the very beginning, and then you'll hear the first 4 bars before you come in. So it looks and sounds something like this. Clap in 4, 3, 2, 1, clap. So don't worry when you can't see the music at the very beginning. It comes up just before bar. So there we go. So hopefully that'll make sense when you come to record your part. But any problems, do of course just get in touch and let me know as we go. I'll just share the actual music. Just something vanished off my screen. Now I've shared something else. So here we go. Right. So to begin with, sopranos and altos. Of course, you're gathered together on this R. So let's just sing it together, shall we? Okay, good. So just a reminder, you can see this little brackets tick I've put in. You don't really breathe, but there's just that kind of sense of lift between bars 2 and 3 of that phrase. Let's go again. Okay. Now, sopranos, you're on the tune here throughout, so I'm just going to ignore you for a minute. But I'm going to start with the basses. Your first movement then at bar 10. Now basically you'll hear on the track there's a breath here, so I'm kind of taking off the dot and having a little quaver rest, just so you've really got enough breath to make that crescendo be meaty crescendo. Really take us on a journey over those three beats. Tenors, your most wonderful lyrical sound, lovely heady placement from bar 10. So let's try this together. And really grow, becoming broad. And remember our crescendos, I would always encourage you not to think about crescendos being a growth that way, but a growth that way. That makes sense. The sound becomes broader rather than we're just pushing harder. Altos. First altos, you're on an F for 2 bars. But I'm just going to sing there for the second alto part, which begins here. Now for everybody, let's really enjoy the dynamic markings here. As we kind of delve into this style for the first time really as a choir, we really want to make a feature of all the dynamic markings so that the journey we go on, really that's all the dynamics are always just an indication of the journey the composer wants to take us on. And so really it's our job to make the most of those. You'll notice rather than just being marked piano at the beginning, it's marked at pianissimo, the 2 P's. So rather than just soft, it's very soft at the beginning. And then this crescendo, that's the first moment where there's anything marked other than pianissimo. So here we really want to grow, and it's taking us from very soft pianissimo here over 3 beats all the way up to mezzo forte, so moderately strong. So that journey is quite substantial really. And I won't mind if actually the crescendo goes slightly beyond mezzo forte and then you come back to mezzo forte as we go into this next phrase. Sopranos then, let's have a listen to your always smooth, legato sempre section. Love divine to love divine, oh love's excelling, joy of heaven to earth come down. Fix in us thy humble dwelling, all thy faithful mercies crown. I might have mentioned before, but it bears repeating sopranos, to really think about the long vowels. It's like this stream of breath coming out of your mouth. We just clip on the consonants onto the top. So the consonants are never getting in the way of the line. It's how we're going to have it feeling always smooth. And to think about the length of your vowels and that it's constantly spinning along. We just clip on these consonants along the way. As we reach bar 19 then, everybody then now moves to the text version with basses singing. Jesus, thou art all compassion, pure unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Okay. Tenors, just watch your small steps here. There's semitone down from your D flat to C. It's a really small step. It's a slightly bigger step from your C to your B flat, down a full tone. But we don't want to let it go too flabby as we drop down there. And then tenors really enjoy the second note of art, and then the release here as you come down to sing a quaver at the end of art. And for everybody, this breath here at the end of bar 22 is just a quaver long. So we're all going to make sure it's long enough if you're a soprano, alto, or a tenor, so that we, a soprano, alto, or a bass, so that we cover the tenor's second note. So we want to avoid coming off early and really make sure it goes right to the end of that bar, a quaver rest. So tenors, with that in mind. Jesu, thou art all compassion, pure and unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Okay. Altos, let's have a look at your part. And again, just remembering art right to just the quaver before before the bar line. Jesu, thou art all compassion, pure unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Wouldn't it be lovely for all of us on the word trembling to give it some sense of about it? Enter every trembling heart. Somehow Goodall's managed to allow the text to really paint pictures here with his setting of the text, and so I think we should really cling on to the opportunities that are presented in word painting. Sopranos. Jesu, thou art all compassion, pure unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. Good, okay. Now, whatever part you're on, I'm just going to return to this quaver rest for a moment. It's important that it's a quaver long, as I mentioned, because we just want to make sure we cover the tenors so we don't have the solo tenor moment. And also because it's all finishing on the T, we want to make sure that all our T's are together. The downside is, it means there's not an awful long time to breathe in advance of what feels like quite a long phrase. It's only 4 bars long, but it requires quite a bit of breath through it. So what I would like to think about is doing a really good, what's called a drop breath. So you'll have found that at the end of the phrase going into bar 22, so you reach the end of love thou art, that actually you'll probably be running out of breath. And the sensation we want to have as we breathe in before visit us with thy salvation is that the breath drops into the body. It's like suddenly filling up really deep into the tummy, so that the tummy feels kind of just relaxes. It's like the old advice when you're trying to get through a small space. Breathe in. Bad advice. It's the opposite of what you need to do if you want to get thinner. If anything, we're going to breathe out. So here, actually, we want to try and get ourselves as big as you possibly can, and we just let the breath take care of itself. So we're just going to try that as an exercise. Just going to breathe out, and over a count of, let's say, 5, we're going to get rid of all the air. And then once we've reached 5, I'll just pause for a moment, and I'll lift my hands, and we'll let the air, the breath, just drop into the body. And we're just going to do that a couple of times, and I'll explain all the way. So let's just breathe out first. Great. You're going to do that again this time, and I would like to really put, maybe we'll count to 7 this time. I want to push out all of the air, so there's as little air in your body as you can possibly muster. And then we're going to let the air drop in as sharply and as swiftly as we can. So it'll be a real sense of needing to work the drop a little bit more. So let's take a breath, and then we're going to breathe out over 7, getting rid of all the breath. We'll pause, and then a really quick, snatched drop breath. So breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pause. Get rid of all the air from anything left. Okay. And as you do that, hopefully you'll experience that suddenly the body feels like there's more air in it than you were. Hopefully, certainly previous to that. It suddenly feels bigger and a bit more yawny about it, and that's quite a good thing too. Okay, so with all that in mind, this is a moment for that snatched drop breath. Pure unbounded love thou art, visit us, and it'll set you up with the best chance of being able to get right to the end of the phrase. Now there's a few things coming up in the chat. Oh yeah, good. So there's a question about Penny was asking about singing such long lines without breathing in between. So I would stick with that drop breath. Hopefully that drop breath will really help. If you find though that the phrase is just too long, you just can't do it, don't worry at all. The best thing to do is to take a breath in the middle of a word. So if a soprano might sing, visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. And hopefully by taking it in the middle of they, not very many people will have also taken a breath in that place, and we'll be able to stagger the breath, and no one will really notice when it's all put together that there's some breaths in quirky places. And the final thing on that is to say, where there are slurs marked, just an encouragement not to take a breath at those points, because that will be a bit more obvious if you take a breath there. So where there's a comma marked salvation, try and resist the urge to breathe there. But I've been speaking for enough time, so let's try right from the very beginning, and we'll sing this all together. So I'll put the recording on for us. So this is the 4 bars without that aren't on the music. Verse 2. So now we kind of get a repeat of the introduction, and then back to these R's. 1, 2, and. So we begin in unison. just going to stop there for a moment. Altos and basses, you're joined together here on the whole. So let's just sing that much together, altos and basses. Just watching out for to deliver. Just notice that's different to the main tune. At least this on this occasion it is for you. Come Almighty to deliver, let us all thy life receive. Suddenly return and never more thy temples leave. Now sopranos and tenors, you're almost the same. Except just at the end there, tenors, bar 43, temples leave, rather than going down. But otherwise, you're singing the same idea as the soprano. So tenors and sopranos together. Come Almighty to deliver, let us all thy life receive. Suddenly return and never more thy temples leave. Or temples leave, if you're a soprano. Okay. Altos. Bar 44. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Okay, so hopefully you're all happy with that moment. Tenors. Get another lovely lyrical part here. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. So really enjoy this little Scotch snap. Ba-da! You can kind of crescendo through that suspension moment. And then we relax as you go down to the C. Okay. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. And hopefully as a demonstrator there, really lean into the love, first note of love, and then away again. So we get that lovely suspension. It wouldn't be Goodall without a good suspension in it. Basses. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Altos. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Let's just look at a final phrase. Pray and praise thee. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Okay. And finally, sopranos in this section. Bar 45. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Okay, good. And if, like me, you need to take a breath, that's fine. No worries at all with that. Excellent. So, should we try that section together? Let's go all the way back to "Come Almighty to deliver." So this is hopefully just a couple of bars or so before that. Okay, sorry to stop you just before you're in your full flight. Okay, so sopranos and tenors. You begin together here. Finish then thy new creation, pure and spotless. Let us, and down for sopranos and up for tenors, be. In terms of our sound here, what I'd just like to think about is the space required to give it that lovely college choir feel. Good. I can see on Zoom. Sorry, the yawns catching, which is no bad thing. I'm sorry. But that yawn space is exactly what we want. Finish then thy new creation, pure and spotless. And through doing that, hopefully we discover we've got this lovely, broad, round, flowery sound. I mean, flowery in terms of bloom to it, without us having to strain ourselves for the forte here. Altos and basses, you come in one beat after the sopranos and tenors. So you have and one. Finish then thy new creation, pure and spotless let us be. And of course all the eagle-eyed altos will have spotted above 55. And thy new creation, you're going to sail above the sopranos at that moment. Altos and basses, you get the best bit of the whole piece, in my opinion. Let us see thy great salvation, few basses, but let us see. Now, whilst we want that to be really lovely and clear and towards the front of the texture here, it wants to not want to be too let us see. Okay, we don't want to have that kind of attack to it, but it's to always think about that legato line. Let us see thy great. It's like this moment as you're singing, let us see thy great salvation. That idea is just so amazing that there's no better way to that one note simply isn't enough, that we've got to have this melisma, we've got to have more notes to be able to try and express that. Let us see thy great. Okay. Let's just try that section, shall we? So this is Finish Then Thy New Creation. Here's hopefully a few bars going into it. Sorry to stop you before the final phrase, but we will get there. Change from glory into glory. I imagine we're in a relatively happy place, but let's just quickly visit a couple of moments here. Basses then. Change from glory into glory, till in heaven we take our place. If I haven't said already, heaven. Just almost think about it without the V at all. Till in hen, and you kind of sneak in the V. Till in heaven we take. Till in heaven we take our place. Till we cast our crowns before thee, lost in wonder, love and praise, etc. Tenors you split into two, collectively split into two. Bar 63, the first tenors. Change from glory into glory, till in heaven we take our place. Okay, a lovely little Scottish snap moment again, lots of energy on place. Second tenors through that moment, coming in on the second beat, and one. Change from glory into glory, till in heaven we take our place, till we cast. Just notice there the place for you feels really good and short, with that quaver taken off there. Sopranos and altos, I think you'll probably be quite happy here, singing what you've come to know pretty well in a beats round. But altos, just watch out for your place too, because that will feel quite short again with that quaver rest. Till in heaven we take our place, till we cast on. But Paterson just like this catches out as well, because having been up on the second, starting the phrase on the second beat of the bar, da, da, da. Then all of a sudden we're then back on the first beat. And altos, when you're back on the first beat, then there's a second soprano part here, bar 67, coming in on the second beat. So the round kind of moves from the altos up to the second sopranos. Till we cast our crowns before thee, lost in one. And so you get out of the round by this lovely quick for thee. Okay. On your repeat of love and praise, again, we're really thinking about the journey of the crescendo. Love and praise. Really taking you through to the quaver breath. Till we cast our crowns before thee. Now you're going to sing the alto part rather than the soprano. Lost in wonder, love and praise. with really good rolled R's. Praise. So we're going to have good rolled R's on the prr, and then your most percussive s on the quaver rests that come between all the praises. Praise, praise, praise. And the last praise is a little bit longer than 3 beats. So it was just hold before the downbeat of the last bar. Just a final thought about the S of praise. It wants to have that feeling of like you've picked up a bottle of sparkling water or something, and you've opened it, and you hear that noise, that dreaded noise of I'm about to get soaked, and it shuts off quite quickly. Praise. It's like a little kind of escape of gas. So it needs a little bit of a kick as you do it. Praise. Praise. Okay. So no long Slytherin style S's, always short and sharp and punchy. Let's try then from bar 67. Here's a bar also going into it. Good. Excellent. Right, so hopefully you're all feeling very happy with this now, and all in a really good place to record your parts. But before we finish, then I'm just going to fly before your eyes in a blur as we go right back to the very beginning. We're going to run it from the top. I haven't said hello to anybody who's joining us on YouTube. It's lovely to see so many of you on YouTube this evening. Hi to Olu. Actually, I'm sure you're not a terrible singer, Olu. I'm sure that's an exaggeration. Hi Rachel and Z. Great to Zainab. Sorry, lovely to see you, Zainab. Excellent. Cliff and Christine, really welcome. Dele, lovely to have you with us too. Excellent, great. Right, hopefully that's given you a little bit of breathing space as we go right from the top together. So here we go, let's run it.
Divine,
try to consider what you're communicating through the R's. Wonderful, thank you all so much. I hope that's been helpful and you're all feeling in a happy place about Love Divine. The run through videos are up, so it might be actually that now's a good time just to sing through before having a record. But hopefully, in terms of pitch, the pitches, the notes of it, you should be in a good place. Caroline's asked about will there be some kind of click? There isn't a click because actually I haven't. When I recorded the track to it, I recorded the track without a click, without any kind of metronome. So there's no. So it's just quite a free piece. However, hopefully it's really clear to follow. You'll hear me wallowing away on it to try and follow with that, and hopefully after a few listens through, all the tempo will be kind of well sunk in as to what to expect with it. But yeah, if there's any queries or questions or problems or whatever, do of course just get in touch, and I'll try my best to help. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next time, which is in a fortnight's time. And in a fortnight's time, we're going to start work on Christopher Tin's Baba Yetu, which will be really great to dive into that. It's quite different. It's it's the Swahili Lord's Prayer, or the Lord's Prayer in Swahili, set to music for a video game. Who'd have thought it? But it was a commission for a video game. But it's a really great setting. I'm on the hunt at the moment. If anybody can help me, for a singer who's a very experienced singer, ideally of either South African is in South Africa, perhaps, or South African descent, or someone who's fluent in Swahili, who might be able to help us. So I just thought I'd put that call out there if somebody's thinking, oh, I know, I've got a friend who might be good for that, then that'd be really, really fabulous. But yeah, in any case, I'll look forward to seeing you all soon. So thanks so much. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.
Thanks, Matt.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks and bye.
Right, I've just put a chat up to say, is that second verse Wesley's or Goodall's? Because it's not in the normal hymn book.